Hello everyone and welcome to the currency game. So today, and no, I'm not showing my face because I really want to get focused on the chart. I really don't even like doing videos, but I like sharing information, and it's not about a bad hair day. I know somebody made a little funny comment. It's not about that. It's the fact that I want to focus on the chart. So the people who are really interested in learning trading, they don't really care about seeing me or not. The people who are just interested in maybe entertainment or whatever probably will not be interested in my videos, which is okay with me. There are tons of people who do trading videos or trading tutorials. Another thing about me, I'm never going to probably be the person that does all the B-rolls and the exciting videos. That's probably not me, because my goal is not, I'm not trying to be I really don't care about making money from YouTube, to be honest, because, and I've explained this before, that I do not like, that's the whole reason I like trading, is because I am in control of what I do and what I don't do. And it's not based off of what anyone else thinks, what anyone else like it or dislike it, or an algorithm, or, trying to keep up with the trends of what is going on in AI and all this stuff, right? Like, I love trading because it really keeps it simple for me. Like, it keeps it simple to the point that I almost have to look for other things to do, because, and that's why I do this, is sharing the video. And I am an introvert. I'm an extrovert to a certain point, but I'm also an introvert. And so that's why I don't really show my face too much. And I understand that it probably will get people who don't view my videos, who won't like my videos, who won't subscribe. And I'm fine with that, because my money comes from trading. And I don't even want to get to the point where and I know this is not for everybody, but I don't even want to get to the point where I am dependent upon social media or followers or subscribers or an algorithm for my money, because that can all be so quickly taken away based off of what someone says, even if they lie on you or whatever. Like, it can be so quickly taken away, all that hard work. Because even with me not even doing fancy videos, it still takes a little more time than I really want to use on, like, when it's ready to upload. I don't even like the upload process, to be honest. I'm just keeping it real. Like, I do not even like that. But I still want people to learn. The people who are interested, the people, and like I said again, for the people who are new, I started this YouTube channel because I had people on Facebook who I had a group of 300 plus people who were interested in crypto when I started that group back in 2019. So some of them wanted me to do tutorials. Well, I had thought about doing a course. It just was taking too much time. It felt like a job, and I don't like jobs. So I don't like feeling like I got a job, and that felt like I got a job. So the thing about trading, it does not feel like a job to me. It feels like I'm in control, and I recognize that about myself. So I'm sorry. No, when you see my face is if I'm doing a video, I'm outside, I'm in the house. I really don't feel like showing, like, I just don't feel like doing all that. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. But for those who are just interested in learning, I'm going to show you what I do. Now, there are other people who do different things. This is what I do it. And I'm just going to I'm going to get right to it. I'm going to show how, first thing I do Now, I'm not talking about the person who don't even have a account set up, don't have, like, not ready to just go in and trade. This is for the person who they got a broker. The broker I use, because I trade crypto, I use Coinbase Advance. It's the easiest thing to get set up. You just sign up, go through the little prompts, and then boom, put your money up there and start trading, right? So I use the chart. Now you can use TradingView and Coinbase together. I have tried that. It is not what I like doing, because I don't have this big fancy setup where, you know how some people who have trading, they have like the big fancy setups where they are they have multiple screens and stuff like that. I use my tablet and my phone, my iPad and my phone. And the reason why is because I like to be mobile. I don't like saying I only can trade at my desk. I only can, because I don't even like desks. I'm telling y'all, I hate jobs. I hate cubicles. I hate anything that represents that. For me, I'm not talking about for anyone else. I said for me, it feels like prison. So that's why I don't like it. So that's why I trade a lot of times right in my bed, and I don't feel like recording in my bed. So I'm just keeping it real and honest for you. So like, there are times where I am trading in my car, and sometimes I don't feel like recording in my car. So that's why you don't see my face a lot. It's not because I really don't care about I change my hair up all the time. Sometimes I'm wearing my hair, I'm just keeping it real. Sometimes I'm wearing weave. Sometimes I'm wearing braids. Sometimes I'm got my hair pulled back. Sometimes my hair is fine. I just don't like I don't like recording myself all the time. I don't even like talking to people on FaceTime a lot of times. The only people I talk to on FaceTime is my daughters for the most part. So that's how much. And it's not because I don't love myself. It's just because I don't feel like doing all of that. I just do not feel like doing all that. I just feel like it just puts too much pressure on me. Like, oh, does it look right? And then I start thinking about these other things that have nothing to do with trading. Then I spend all this time on things that have nothing to do with trading. I'll spend a bunch of time editing. I'll spend a bunch of time going through ChatGPT as far as like what type of titles to put, what type of hashtags to put. I get so focused on things that have nothing to do with trading, and that's not what I want. I don't want that for my life. So I don't even want to build upon that. So that's why I do it the way I do it. So I understand that some people are not gonna like it, but it is what it is. But let's get right into it. That was my little rant for today. And sometimes I feel like being on video, and I'll do it. I like being able to be in a position where I do whatever I want. I don't want to feel like, oh, I gotta do this. I gotta record today. I gotta show my face. I gotta figure out what I'm gonna wear. Because sometimes I wear the same things over and over. I'm being honest. I keep my life simple. And so with showing my face, I feel like, oh, I gotta wear something new all the time. All these thoughts come through my mind that I do not want to have to deal with, because they have nothing to do with trading. Like, my income comes from trading and long-term investment. That's what I want it to be, and that's where I want to keep it at, because I don't want the pressures of all the other stuff that comes through content creation. For me, it's too much pressure, and I don't like it. So that's why you won't see that from me. So, but anyway, let me get to what I was about to say. So what today I'm going to go over is like, once you have your account set up and you're like, I'm ready to trade. Well, trading is all about buying, selling, and making a profit, right? And then there's the other layer as of risk. Like, what risks are you willing to take? How much risk are you willing to take? Or you don't care about risk, right? Some people don't care about risk at all. They're just like, whatever. I personally, so what I'm going to go over today is this is my method. This is what works for me. This is what gives me my win rate. This is what gives me my really low risk method. So, all right. So first thing I do is set up my chart. Now I'm looking at Bitcoin because right now I only trade crypto for the most part. In the past, when I first started trading, I was trading stock on Robinhood, which was horrible. But that was my entry into the industry. Then I came across crypto and I fell in love with it for all different reasons. We'll go over that in another video. But so like when my alerts is going off. But the first thing I do is set up my chart. Now I'm gonna just check this real quick to see what's happening. It's okay, it's going on. All right. So when I set up my chart, and I'm gonna just go Bitcoin first because it is the head dog of crypto. It is it is where everything started for crypto. So I have to honor it. But anyway, the first thing I do is think about it like this. A chart, you're looking for floors, ceilings, and stairs. That's the way I look at it. Let's just keep it simple. Floors, ceilings, and stairs. So what are the floors? The floors are the areas at the bottom where things have come down and hit a bottom. The ceilings are things where things have hit a bottom and hit a ceiling, and then it comes back down. So that became a ceiling. This, you have big ceilings, major ceilings, should I say, and minor ceilings, right? So these were ceilings where it came up, hit it, came back, bust through the ceiling, and came down. So where the stairs come into play? Stairs are basically trends. So you might have heard people, or if you are in trading, you know about trends where things are trending up or things are trending down. So let me just do this. Like things are trending down or things are trending up, right? And then you're looking for floors and ceilings. That's it. That's the simple version. So I didn't do that. Gosh, I hate notifications for sometimes. But that was a good notification. I'll check them out. All right, so let me get rid of this. All right, so now with that being said, now this chart, I have some notes on this chart. And that's another thing about charts. You can put notes. You can do whatever makes you, like whatever you need on that chart to make you remember things that may, for me, I need to know because I do trading and I also do long-term investing. So long-term investing includes my Bitcoin. Bitcoins are long-term investments for me. There may be XRP because I bought it when it was really, really cheap and, whatever. So, and I didn't spend that much money. So it's okay for me to hang on to it. Even if it never goes nowhere, I'm okay with that. But anyway, so for trading is where I make my money for the most part that is the cash flow. The investing is the long term, like for retirement and all that kind of stuff. So for cash flow is trading. So the first thing I want to see, I want to see my ceilings and floors, and then I'm gonna start with trend lines first, my stairs. So I go all the way. You can also go all the way to the monthly. I usually like to start here, especially for something like Bitcoin. And what I'm going to do, now a lot of people use just regular trend lines, and that's fine, you can. I like parallel channels as my trend line, and I'll say why. So I'm gonna start at the very bottom of the chart for my peaks. So this is the first peak. I'm gonna connect that peak to this peak. And then there's another peak. This is the last peak, right? So I'm gonna connect these, and then I'm gonna go down. Now I could have gone up to, you see where, let me end this. You see where this one was standing out right here. It was standing out. Let me show you. So when I go back, when I drew that line, that little candlestick was sticking out. So I can go in and cover it. Now, this is hitting the very top of those candlesticks, right? From this beginning to here. I personally like to cover a little bit more below the very peak. So that's why I like channels. So I'll bring it down just to cover a little bit more than just like get some of those candlestick wicks on the monthly inside the channel, right? And the reason why I do that is because sometimes when it hits that trend line, it hits at different points of that trend line. And I want to see, are we still pretty much in, for the most part, on trend, right? So that's the top trend line. Now, which is like serving as resistance. So, let me see, or what you might want to call, let me put, okay, I'm gonna just put it in here. And that's another thing you could put, resistance, or ceilings. For the stairs. Or it's ceilings. I just put ceilings. And right, so you got your resistance. So it hit up here, came back down, came up, hit here, came back down, came up, hit back down. So it was like a diagonal ceiling, which is going up the stairs. That's why I say stairs, because it's diagonal. Now I want to know what is my support on the diagonal. So I'm gonna start right down here. This is about the lowest point. Now there it is down here, but this is kind of flat. So right here, you see how it is not touching those other ones, but that's fine. We're gonna leave that, and boom, hit lock. Now I want to, because we're here, we're in this bottom support trend area, so I'm gonna draw another one. Start from here. And I'm gonna kind of like go at the bottom of the candles and then take in the wicks. Now this is all on the monthly. Okay, so I pretty much have all the trend lines that I can really make. I mean, I could do right here, but I'm not really going to do that because it's up, it's hitting this area. I want to see if it's going to fall out. So I'm not really concerned about this because we've already went past that. And it's really not serving anything. So now I'm going to, let me do this. Put support. So let me put diagonal. Support. Or these are the stairs. I know what's going on. Well, anyway, we got it up there. And then here is support. Okay. All right. So we started with the monthly. Now we're going to go down to the weekly and see. Oh, that's another thing. So I have to make these visible on all time frames. Okay. And then now we're going to get to weekly. So I don't see where I need to add any trend lines. These are pretty much good for the monthly and the weekly. I'm going to go to the daily. Okay. So we're starting to create a little trend right here at the tops and the bottoms. So I can go in and put, if I want to, you don't have to, or I could do just a regular trend line. I typically use only parallel channels, but I'm gonna do it just so, you know, it doesn't complicate it for people. And then I got a trend line going here. And that's for the daily. So I want, like, for this interval, time frame and below. All right. So this is my resistance, and this is support, and I need to probably touch it. Where is touching it? This is why I like parallel channels, because to me, this may not touch this line. It might touch to here. So I must put my parallel channel. So I'm going to start right here, connect to this one, and then I'm going to go all the way up to the bottom of that candle, right, that green candle. Boom. Lock. And intervals and below. I'm going to keep the one up here as a trend line because it doesn't have a lot of wicks going on. So I'm okay with leaving that as just the regular trend line. Now I'm gonna go, let me put, so this is support or floor, and this is resistance or ceiling. So basically what I'm doing is going through and finding all my support, my ceilings, and floors in like in the diagonals, right? So you have ceilings and floors going horizontal, and you have ceilings and floors going diagonally. So, and that's how, for me, I'm able to know from a higher time frame all the way down to the 15-minute or whatever, 5-minute, of where things are going to probably bounce at, or be where my sell and my buy points are from a higher time frame, because there are people who are trading buying based off of the weekly, monthly, daily, 4-hour. So you're gonna have different volume, different amount of money being traded at these different time frames, and probably the bigger amount of money is on the monthly and the weekly. Probably your biggest amount of money is being traded on those time frames. So I have to know those time frames for me. All right. So now we're going to go down to 4-hour and see. I really don't see anything that's really different from the daily to the 4-hour as far as trends, because like it's starting to go down, but it's not really a trend happening yet. So go down to the hourly. All right. So nothing major yet. I probably could draw a trend line. I'm not, because it's not enough data for me. Not enough candlesticks. So I'm going to go down to the 15-minute. Now, here I actually see a little bit more detail, and I actually will draw my parallel channel from here to this second point is my top, and then I'm going to touch these other little tops in between. Like you see all those little tops right there. I just kind of got them into the channel, right? And lock. And I can do the same thing for the bottom. So right here, it's still working on the bottom. I'm not gonna do the bottom. I'll just do the top. Leave for right now. Not enough data on the 15-minute. I will go down to the 5-minute to see if I can find a bottom on the 5-minute. Still not really enough, because this is still doing something. So I want to be able to connect this with something to here, but this one is still working out. So I'm not gonna worry about it. So I went through. Let me check this alert real quick. Okay. All right, let me move it, and I'm gonna just move it to right above this line right here, and then move this top alert. Kind of multitasking with that last candle. All right, let's go back to Bitcoin. All right, so that is all my diagonal support and resistance. or my trend lines, all the way from the monthly all the way down to the 5-minute. So I'm gonna go back. Now this does take time when you first set it up, but once you first set it up, you don't have to keep. Only thing you would have to change is maybe on the very lower time frames. You probably never really have to change the upper trend lines, because it takes so long for them to develop. So you're very rarely touching them, but you always have them as a guide. So I'm gonna go all the way back up to the monthly. And now I'm going to look for my horizontal support and resistance. All right. So since the monthly has big candles, I'm not going to use the monthly for my horizontal support and resistance. But I just want to show you guys that. So I'm going to go to the weekly. And I'm seeing a little bit better, like better size candles that I can use. So I'm okay with using this. And I'm gonna just go through. And what I'm doing is I'm using the rectangle tool, and it's extended. So I have it extended right and left. Now, because we're on such a higher time frame, I'm gonna put this as green, because this was a definitely significant buy area most recently on the very higher time frame. So hit lock, and that's is all I'm gonna do for this for right now. I'm not even gonna go beyond here, because we haven't come nowhere near here, so I don't have to worry about that. Now I'm gonna go to the daily, and really the daily it's like, I don't like making candlesticks. Like, I already got this big one down here, which I might reduce, because the daily is giving me a little bit better, less wider. So I'm gonna use this one right here, lock. I use this gray candlestick, but this bottom. Yeah. All right. So off of the daily, everything else I'm going to draw gray. Now, sometimes I change this as I'm trading, because depending on what time frame I'm changing, but I'm saying my original setup. And this right here is coming from, I think it was all the way from the 15-minute. Yeah. And so what I'm going to do, because I don't want that showing up on my higher time frames, I'm going to just put visible on this interval and below. So I'm going to go back to my daily or 4 hour. I think I was on the 4 hour. I probably can extend this a little bit. It's bothering me. Yeah. All right, and he was on the 4 hour. So I will put another support, because see a lot of times where it came down, went up, came down, went up, I'm seeing all this happening over here, and it seems like it started like this candle is starting it all. So I'm gonna use the rectangle, start from this top of this candle, this lowest point candle, and I'm using the wrong thing, rectangle, this low green candlestick, and all the way to the bottom of that other candlestick, the bottom. And I noticed that a lot of times where it hit this area and it's bouncing. It may not bounce a lot, but it's bouncing. So it is an area that I want to consider. And then this, but it's so long of a candlestick that I want to go to the hourly to find, like, yes, that's better. So I'm gonna use this as another point of resistance, of support for like your horizontal. Yeah. So I actually could keep these as gray. Because that would help me know, like, is it a major demand area? It's not as major as this. And then I can change it as I'm trading. All right, so that's the hourly. Then let's go to the 15-minute. And I'm trying to see if I see anything that's different. So one of the things I am seeing, because I do use the 15-minute quite a bit, and that looks really thick. So I want to minimize that a little bit more. And so what I'm going to do is delete. And then I'm going to look for the lowest point to get just a little bit more narrow support. And see. Yes, I like that better. Because I'm catching where it really peaked out. Dropped to the lowest point and then went up. Drop, went up. Right? And it's not so like thick. Because when it becomes so thick, then I can't use it for what I'll show you later as far as my risk management. So like if I were to use this as risk management and I say I want to come in here and set my thing to below here. See, I'm below 2%. That lets me know I have a good support. I'm covering different multiple touches to that support, and I'm below 2%. So that if it goes below here, depending on what kind of candles were happening, like for instance, you have this candle that came out of this. So if I wanted to, I could drop it down a little bit more. Where is it? Okay. To the end of that. And then see. Okay, I'm still below. All right. That's my little check. Okay, we're good. This is good enough. It's thick enough. I don't need to be any thicker. And I probably don't want it any smaller. All right, so that is my horizontal supports. Now I want to go through and do my horizontal resistance. And the last resistance was right up in here. But I'm going to use this over to the left. Which actually covered. I'm going to bring it down a little bit more to catch more peaks. Right? You see it's like this peak, it caught right here. It barely kind of touched there. It went here and then it caught the last peak. So that feels like that seems like to be a good resistance area. And that's it. That was my last resistance. That's all I need. We're done with that. Then the next layer of resistance and support is my fib. So I know this seems like a lot, but it's not, because once you set it up, then you're pretty much just kind of like tweaking. All right. So I'm gonna use, now I do higher all the way like for the whole chart, but I'm not gonna do that a fib for the whole chart. I'm gonna just do for the 15-minute, or actually the hourly. I usually do the hourly and the 15-minute. So the hourly, it basically, the last thing that happened was it went up and now it's working its way down. So I base my fib off of what happened last. Did we and completed? We last spiked up. Now we're coming down, but we haven't completely, I don't know if we're finished. So I go by what we have finished. We have finished going all the way up. And so that's where I take from the very bottom, click, into the very top, click. So the main things I'm concerned about is where we started, where we finished, and where's the 50% level. Now I can add the other levels if I want to, right? Depending on if I need them. I don't really need them right now because we're still coming down. So only thing I'm concerned about is we need to pass this 50% mark. So I'm going to put an alert right above that support area, right? And then I probably move this one that I have up here down. That's all I'm doing at this point. My chart is set up. I know all my resistance and support is going diagonally and horizontal. And I know where my 50% level is from the hourly chart. Now where I do the 15-minute is if, let's say it had came all the way down here and went up here and I needed more detail as far as like another fib. But for right now, I'm only concerned about from this last run, us coming back down to the 50% level. And making sure we have not gone back into this trend. Now, what I can do is put an alert, and I do this, put alert on that parallel channel, and it's for entering. I want to know when it enters that channel because it could be entering and going outside of it. So entering it once per bar, create. So now I have an alert to let me know when it is coming into this channel, like it went up. Because if it went up, that means it's going to bounce back down. Then I can move this alert a little bit up further and see if there's any opportunities for a trade. But that's all I do to set up my chart. And now you can stick to one chart. Like if you want to just only trade Bitcoin and you get really good at Bitcoin trading, and then because Bitcoin doesn't make on a daily basis, it doesn't make like these huge gains, so you could get really good and use margin. I don't. I typically find coins that maybe can give me 10, 15, 20% gains in a day. They have the capability of doing that like on a consistent basis. Then I usually trade those and not use margin because I can control my risk, because I want to keep my risk at 2% or less. And I trade Bitcoin only when there's nothing else really going on but Bitcoin. So right now the focus is really on Bitcoin, because if I look at here, I see nothing but red. And I see, well, this one did something for it. But if you notice this chart, you see how spiky this thing is. Like, it is very spiky. So you really, really have to be comfortable with your risk. So like, you would have, like how I already have this set up with that support. Every time it hits this area, it goes up. And this is the next resistance area. So it went to that one. And I probably would have to be willing to stay in it, because last time it did that, right, was right here to here. So it took 5 days. But for it to do it again for 12%. So 12% per week or more. Like, it could go even further if it wanted to 20%. Like, maybe it's worth it, especially if I know that this week could be probably a slow week, right? It probably would have been worth it, like, once I saw it go in. Like, make a like, if I did have an alert here. I don't remember it going off, but I did have an alert because I see it in gray down here. All right, so, but that trade is done. Like, I'm not going into it. It's already in spike, so leave it alone. But yeah, so that is pretty much it. And it's just a matter of just setting up your alerts. So Fort was one, this one, Alio. These are just ones that's on my list. It could be other ones that's doing something that is not on my list. But these are probably more lower liquidity. When I say lower liquidity, there's less there's less money in these coins than like your top 10 or top 50 coins have a lot more money in there. So it's okay to trade these with like a little bit of money. I wouldn't want to trade these on like where I have an account that has over $20,000. I wouldn't want to trade on these accounts. I might would use maybe the most I might would use on an account like this or coin like this for a day trading, maybe $1,000, and just see what I can get. But that is pretty much it. And then from there, the next step would be like figuring out where I want to enter a trade. And I think that's a whole different video. First thing is to set up your chart, because if you don't have your chart set up, for me, I'll say for me, because some people don't even set up a chart. They just go by, like they can just, everybody's different. Some people can just look at this and they can see it. They can see what I just drew. Like, they might not worry about this fib, but they can see, oh, this is support. They don't need the visual. I need the visual. So I don't worry about, some people get in their ego like, I don't have anything on my chart. My chart is naked. Fine. But honey, I don't really care about competing against what your chart look like versus my chart. What I'm caring about is what is making me money and what is not. And this makes me money. So I could care less about how naked my chart is or how less naked my chart is. So this is still going down. So before I add a bottom trend line, I want to see this kind of make its way up. Which I probably could do this above this last high candle, so that when it does do that, I can make a bottom trend line and see how is it flowing. And that is pretty much it. That's the first step. It's just setting up your chart from the very highest time frame to the very lowest is maybe 15 minutes. I go from the monthly, weekly, daily, 4 hour, 15 minute. That's it. But I do that. But on a daily basis, I'm tweaking the 15-minute and the hourly. For like, if I've never set up a chart, I go all what I just did today. I go from the monthly all the way down to the 15-minute. And then once it's set up from the monthly and the weekly and daily and all that stuff, then I'm only tweaking the hourly and the 15-minute. Or if I need to delete something off of the daily. So, and that's pretty much it. So now it's just a matter of just letting alerts alert me when things are happening, and I can walk away from this. And I don't know how much this took, but it didn't take a whole day's worth of work. May not feel like it because a lot of people's attention span is very short, but it wasn't a whole day's worth of work. And the other thing is finding which coins I want to trade. I would say trade Bitcoin first, and then, or unless you have a coin that you already are very familiar with, and then I can do another video of how I searched and how did I create my list of coins. That's a whole nother video because that's a different day of work. But how often am I updating that? It's very rare. I do it once. It takes a while to go through all of them. Maybe 2 hours to create a whole list. Maybe 2 to 3 hours to create a list. It's a day where I don't have nothing else. I'm okay with using that time. But once I do it, I don't have to do it. It's very rare for me to have to do that again. I might add 1 or 2 coins to there based off of something I saw or whatever. But I'm not creating a whole new list. So to create the whole new list, it does take a little time to go through it. Unless you already know which coins you just want to trade. It's like, I just want to trade Bitcoin and XRP or XLM or whatever, or Ethereum or whatever. You just got your favorite if you're talking about crypto. Or if you're talking about something else. I just want to trade gold. I just want to trade US 30, whatever. So just know what charts you want to trade. Set them up and then set your alerts. And then the next step is to go in and set up your positions. Whether you're taking a long position meaning you're buying low and selling at a higher price for a profit. A short position is where you're basically making profit off of the price going down. How do you make profit off the price going down? Is because it's the analogy I like to give is if you had a pair of sneakers, your friend has a pair of sneakers, you borrow their pair of sneakers. The sneakers are currently worth $200. You think that the price is going to go down to $100. So you sell the person's sneakers. They're not your own. And then in hopes that the price is going to go down, the price does go down to $100, you make an extra $100. You buy the pair of sneakers back for $100, give them back to your friend, and you made $100 from something that you did not own. So basically, you have a contract with your friend for those sneakers that you do not own. And so in hopes that the price is going to go lower. Now, this is where you take the risk because the price may not go down lower, and you have borrowed those sneakers and you have sold sneakers that you did not own. So that means that you have to give that person that money back. All right? You have to give them the sneakers back. So you got to pay the price that the current thing is at. That is the best way I can describe a short trade or a short position. All right? That's where you're making money with the price, anticipating the price is going to go down, and you're going to benefit off of that. All right, so that will do it for today. Thank you guys. For those who stuck it in to the end, or you kind of went through parts of it or whatever, but this is my first step in trading. Once I've gotten the account set up, I set my chart. That I cannot myself cannot trade without setting my chart up. All right, thanks, bye-bye.